Welcome to the re-record of yesterday's Saturdays with Tara. I'm Robin Retallick at the Law of Attraction Club on the web at theloaclub.com. This Hangout on Air presents our theme for the week. Our discussion of the theme for the week also continues on our open call each week on alternating Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you're watching the recorded video, we'll be adding pop-up links with more information about us and our extended audio recording. I'll be bringing through Tara for us today, so here we go. Welcome. We have headlined our discussion this week as the truth without the stories, because there are many complex stories out there about so-called universal laws of attraction. And what you really need is less complexity and more of a set of simple principles you can apply towards creating what you want in your life. So let's get clear on those principles. And as we do, we want to once again draw a distinction between simplicity and enormity. If you've been living with a well-practiced belief that there's a solid physical world out there, then as we get into the true nature of reality, the concepts might seem enormous or radical and require you to rethink the way you view the world. But we encourage you not to react to that as if it's all too complex and hard to get your head around. Yes, it may be a somewhat new and different way of looking at things, but different doesn't mean complex. If you will allow yourself some time to get used to this new way of looking at things, you'll find that it's elegantly simple. And it has the huge advantage that it explains everything. Within these concepts lies the answer to all your questions. Let's start by looking at the things you call laws. There are man-made laws that are arbitrary. They vary from country to country or even city to city. Then there are the laws of physics or nature, like the law of gravity. And these may not feel at all arbitrary to you. Then there are so-called universal or cosmic laws, some of which are described as mutable and some immutable. Then there's the law of attraction, which we would describe as so fundamental or immutable that calling it a law is misleading. But on that subject, it seems the train has left the station, and so law of attraction it is. Here's what's actually immutable or absolute. Three things. One, you're a part of or an extension of the collective consciousness of all that is. You're eternal or immortal, which really means that, like Source, you're timeless. You're a non-physical consciousness, which means you're spaceless. This is the true nature of everything that exists. Two, then there's what defines you and your world. By your chosen beliefs, desires, and intentions, you create you and the matching context that surrounds you. Three, then there's your feelings. When your beliefs are aligned with your desires and intentions, you feel good. When your direction is away from what you want, you feel bad. You cannot choose or change any of that. It just is. But here's what you do choose. Everything else. If you make a new choice, you change, and your matching world changes. That process is actually what you call the law of attraction at work. Are you beginning to see how fundamental this so-called law really is? Everything else derives from it. Even those laws of nature or physics are arbitrary in the sense that it's your chosen beliefs about this space-time world of yours that create it as it is. So let's see if we can get away from all that talk about laws. Here's our summary of the nature of everything. You're eternal. You're God. You're the only one that chooses what to believe about you and your world. When you make a choice, everything in the world lines up with it. When you're feeling good, your choices are pointing you towards what you want, and vice versa. So nothing is more important than feeling good. That's it in a nutshell. That's it without complexity. That's the simple truth of it all. To illustrate the importance of feelings, your emotional guidance system, the following is a quote from Abraham this week about talking with someone who has a problem. Whatever the subject is, it should only be talked about if the talking will make you feel better. It's of no value, ever, to activate and talk about something that doesn't feel good, because it reactivates it in your vibration. When you focus upon the problems of others, you diminish your ability to help them. People believe that you've got to focus upon the problem in order to find a solution. And we say, no solution ever comes forth. It's never inspired, you never recognize it, and you're never able to facilitate or achieve it from your place of focusing on the problem. They are two entirely different vibrations. If you have someone who has many things going wrong and one thing going right, beat the drum of what's going right and let that be your point of attraction. If you focus upon their problems, you achieve vibrational harmony with something other than the source that gives you the solution. In other words, being right is unimportant. Feeling good is important. Being thorough is unimportant unless it helps you feel good. Planning is unimportant unless you feel good in the process. Working hard achieves nothing unless you feel good doing it. Being persistent is worse than useless unless you feel good persisting. Getting motivated makes no sense unless you feel good. Helping others doesn't help at all unless it feels good. Being compassionate does not mean empathizing with someone and falling into a low vibration. You're not being compassionate if you're not feeling good at the same time. So if you don't feel good and you want to create something new, make a new belief choice. And here's the secret about that new belief choice. You have to internalize it. You have to make it consciously, and then teach your subconscious to tell the same story. And you do that by commitment to change, and then focusing on the things you want. That's worth repeating. About that new belief choice, you have to internalize it. You have to make it consciously, and then teach your subconscious to tell the same story. And you do that by commitment to change, and then focusing on the things you want. It all starts with awareness. What does a fish know about water? Answer, nothing, until it leaves the water and has a new frame of reference. We have observed many of you who will spend hours or days or a lifetime feeling tension or feeling desperate or feeling lost or in fear without ever stepping back and observing yourself in that state. It has become your water. We want you to get out of the water and see it for what it is. Clearly, your circumstances do not dictate your feelings, because you can be in identical circumstances and yet feeling very different from one moment to the next. You choose your thoughts and your feelings. So cultivate an ongoing, ever-present awareness of how you feel. Then here are some steps you can follow. And we suggest you do these once every waking hour of your life. Take the time to 1. Imagine. Get into the being place of having what you want. 2. Get emotional. Let yourself get into the joy of manifesting. 3. Believe it's possible. Believe you can do it. 4. Act as if. Behave as you would in this new version of the world. 5. Be independent of the outcome. In other words, stay away from where's my stuff. And 6. Remember at all times that it is you that creates everything by how you choose to think. In other words, how you think about person X determines what version of X shows up in your movie. How you think about the world determines what you'll hear on the nightly news. How you think about aging determines how you age and how physically vital you are. How you think about abundance determines how much money you have. How you think about the weather determines whether it's hot or cold. How you think about the nature of your space-time existence is what creates time and space and gravity and quantum physics, and whether the sun rises in the east or west, and the price of eggs. How you think creates everything. So in all this, we have tried as best we can while using finite language to get away from complex explanations and from universal laws of attraction about this thing or that thing. This is because we seek to convey as simply as we can our perspective on the nature of everything. Our intent is to give you a fresh look at the essence of you and the way you create your life. And yesterday, we moved then to our longer discussion and your questions. The pop-up links on your screen link to more info about us and the audio of the extended call that follows. In the notes attached to this event, you'll see the links to our blog post. In the right column of that post, there's a link to more detail about our letting go process for those of you that would like more on that. And if you really like to change your life in the next 12 months, we have 2 fantastic programs you can join right now. Check us out at theloaclub.com/programs. Bye for now.